Yeah. I just have to have staff agreement, and that has to go on a council resolution, the schedule, and with that caveat about the procedure in August.
Okay, is that what we're talking about next August? But you wanted to go for this month to council?
I'm talking about next year. Yeah, I'm talking about the calendar because even though it's...
We're going to go dark every August. It won't be-
But that doesn't mean it's against the law to have any committee meetings. It's council that goes dark. But, so I'll follow up with Carrie, but this is something that we need to get this schedule on city council agenda. It was first submitted back in January of 2023. So it's languished, and it's been on the agenda every time since then. So I'd like to get this. I'd like to get it. I'm sure Martin doesn't want to be talking about the schedule.
You could just let this linger more.
All right.
Okay. Item 3, investment policy. Remember at our last meeting, we did go through the investment policy and approved it.
Yep.
It has not yet been approved, and I wish I had thought of this when Victoria was here. They've had a lot of agenda items that council had time-sensitive issues, and I think because we did make those changes in fleshing out a little more of what specific internal controls were needed, council wanted to discuss it. The mayor and the mayor pro tem said, well, there are a lot of changes. We should probably not have this on the consent agenda, which is their prerogative. So we haven't had it approved yet, which I feel bad about because we did have a bad audit report again this year about how bad our internal controls were, and I thought it would be a great way of showing that we hear you auditors, and we are trying to get a handle on this. And I've had some discussions with the auditors about that as well, but it's coming. And it's really, that's council's decision as to when they put it on the agenda. Number 4, brokers. This is a good topic, and Victoria mentioned it. Right now, we have 4 brokers of record. That is too many, in my opinion, and I've done this for 4 years. We're a $40 million portfolio. We don't trade every day, and to spread it evenly among 4 brokers just doesn't happen. And I will be honest, I have focused on 2, Stiefel and Piper Sandler. The other 2 are kind of small shops, one person shows. And I mean, I particularly like Stiefel. Stiefel has a wealth of resources. Their municipal representative is incredibly responsive, and they have bond school. I mean, I've been able to go to bond school for 3 years, and they have then municipal training, all free, because we're a client. They'll do this analysis of payback on whether we ought to sell a bond at a loss and reinvest.
Perfect.
They have such high level of service. Piper, I haven't used as much, but they also have very high quality analysis. I mean, it's a big investment bank. And I would rather personally do business with those large institutions than the smaller folks who, maybe they're going to retire. I mean, they're both good. Higgins and what's the other fellow? Doug. I'll get his name in a minute. But they might retire. I mean, they really are one-man shops.
What percent of transactions have you done with the first 2, with Sandler and with Stiefel?
99%.
Then I don't know why they don't resign, or they say we're not generating enough.
Well, it's interesting. At the last, we have an annual meeting of municipal treasurers, the CMTA, which I've belonged to for 4 years, and it's been also really helpful. The last meeting, one of the brokers came to me and said, well, how come you haven't done any business with us? And I honestly told her, I said, Deb, you know, we're just such a small city, it's hard to spread it around.
Yeah. And you're getting more resources from these other organizations.
Yeah.
So
Why did we have 4?
Inherited,
What's that?
inherited.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong suspicion is.
Are they friends?
It's yeah.
Friends,
it's
yeah.
personal
Maybe,
relationship.
that-
Well,
This isn't unusual. I
Nothing
mean,
wrong with that, but,
No, of course not.
but if you don't have the resources to compete with the bigger
Or if you don't have
shops.
the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought maybe it was more for like
Right.
broker diversification.
No, it's
You're
not-
just
it's not atypical. I mean-
You're not giving, you're not showing favoritism or some sort of nepotism or some sort of paying them to do business with them, right? So
I was on the Epson's and Policy Advisory Committee as well, and that was like a $400 million fund, but there was,
A little
we
bigger
had
than
a
ours.
couple incumbents that were just there, like, no one could figure out why they were there. It's not an unusual situation, so usually somebody made a decision a while back, no one ever thought to look at it, and just kind of keeps going, and it's good to look at every once in a while and just clean it up.
And I have a little insight into the history. We had a treasurer for a number of years, same fellow, who decided not to run in whenever Victoria was elected, 2017, 2016, she would have been elected. He decided not to run again, and he was with the two smaller shops and forever. So, but in those days, I don't know what the world was like. They have been around, they have good reputations, and maybe they were what was available. Not everybody wants to be in the municipal world, but
Well, given the resource challenges
Yeah.
of the city, I mean, it makes sense to get as much resource from the outside as possible.
absolutely. So my recommendation, and we've been talking about this now for a year. We were going to bring them in and have them
Bake off,
do a little
make a decision. Yep, just kidding.
I mean, they're
show
probably,
and tell, but
they're probably paid by this spread, I'm assuming. They sell us the bond, they buy it for whatever, and then they sell it to us, and they make the spread. I'm assuming that's how they're paid. It's,
they get paid by the issuers. I don't know how, whether it's a,
sometimes they have the bond in their portfolio already, and then they sell it to us, they buy it for whatever, and then they sell it to us, and that's their spread.
Yeah.
That's typically how it's done, whereas on the retail side where I work,
Yeah.
it's, you pay a transactional fee,
right,
right?
you don't pay a
I'm assuming we're not paying a
No.
transactional fee, and that's why they're saying, why aren't you doing business with us? But
Right.
as long as the transactions are the same, I would,
But to the portfolios, are they likely to have, when availability is an issue, are they likely to have access to something you can't get
That's
elsewhere?
another-
And if the answer is no, then what's the?
Because then they have to go out in the market
They
and
can-
buy it and then
Exactly.
deliver it to you, and that
Exactly.
cuts down the
Yeah.
yield.
but in this space, I don't think there's enough of a change to make a difference.
Correct.
And again, I don't think they're making a lot of money on it. We're not trading enough. When I worked
Right.
at Wells, we had a fixed income trading desk, and
Yeah.
the dollars were so small on that
Oh.
side, so it was not anyway, I'm surprised they even said anything to you.
well,
Agreed.
I,
You're doing 99% of your business away from them. So
Right.
it's a 45
well, and then, so for the,
Right.
possibility.
so for the 2 years.
Just have two?
Yeah, I think I would like to move that we keep Sandler and Stiefel, and that we
I agree.
do not continue to do business with the older ones. Why they kept the other two, it was not Victoria, it was her successor, Liz Ying, who brought the two kind of institutional folks on board, which was great. Why she didn't replace them, I don't know, but again,
Yeah,
who knows?
different environment back then.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, I really like those two. I like having two because I think it's good to have a
Keep the
little
other ones.
competition.
You make that decision yourself, or do you need a motion? You can make that decision yourself, can't you?
How do you formalize it?
Our recommendation, we don't, I mean, I would like to move that we, as a committee, or you all, recommend that we reduce the number of brokers to two.
Give you cover.
Yeah. And seconded, yeah.
Okay.
100%. Where are the assets custodied? Where,
In US Bank,
so you buy through the broker, they then effectively electronically transfer?
exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
so it's just, we don't
Seamless.
use them anymore, you're not using them anyway, so,
They're not doing any work
got
for
it.
us.
So we're just formalizing that we're not buying through them anymore
Yeah.
on this committee, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, sorry.
Yeah,
And I-
and I, again, I think it's the right thing to do. I think, again, given the fact that we have sort of lay people acting as treasurer, in some cities, they have people who are appointed as treasurer, not elected, and in the county, I think we talked about this, the California Code has just introduced minimum requirements for treasurers to run for office in counties. You have to have so many academic credits in accounting and auditing and finance, or you have to have a CFA, or you have to have a CPA, there are those kinds of requirements for counties, but not for cities. So, you don't, you have to rely a little bit on the brokers and you all, depending on, what the person sitting here, I think Martin will do a great job, but, not everybody is a professional treasurer in this role. And it took a while, for all of us. I even remember when, Brian first came, and I remember Encore, it takes a while to understand. You can't invest in everything, and even reading the code, it's not always crystal clear. And, the issues regarding taxation, it's just a little bit of a different world.
That's why the crypto moved, the motion failed.
That's right. Tim wanted to invest in crypto.
Hey.
It's currency.
Okay. 5, we really just, I think, covered. I think the issue, this is, if we cannot have a meeting timely, then we use the alternate procedure. And this is what I would recommend, is we put that August 15th date on there. If all of us decide that's a bad date because vacations, then we go to alternative procedure, which is I submit the report to the city manager, who then sends it to all of you. You guys get to say yay or nay by email or make any comments, and then it goes to council.
I think it's a great plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, do we need a motion on that?
So,
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
and I think that August 15th is kind of the only one of those that's going to be an issue, right?
Right.
Otherwise, we're talking about like Valentine's Day. My wife will be heartbroken.
Well, and you know
So
what?
to speak.
The time schedule says on or before the 15th, because it is, and the Wednesday on or before the 15th. So that could be the 13th, it could be the 12th.
Yeah.
It depends on the calendar that
I think the
year.
only vacations
Yeah.
one that we're worried about is the August one.
That's all, and that tends to be bad for people.
Straightforward,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Number 6, we already spoke of divestiture of low-yield holdings.
Yep.
I think that was a great question. I think as the days go by, it becomes
Less
moot,
important, yeah, right.
because a lot of those old CDs have trickled off, thank God.
Yeah.
And, we've got,
A full point of weighted average yield out of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
so,
It said here, as of the report, there were only 5 CDs left. Have more gone since the report?
there may have been one maturity, yeah. So, okay, new business, we did our welcome, our meet and greets. We did our report. I think we are down to future agenda items unless there is a topic someone else would like to add to.
I think that in the presentation, it would be nice to see the immediate liquidity broken out.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking about that.
But other than that,
If you look at Exhibit A,
Exhibit A, okay.
oh, are these not in order?
B,
I guess they're not, in oh, I have,
yeah. See if it's in the,
I have 3 Bs,
I'm gonna see if I, oh, here's the.
4
and
Bs.
that explains that.
Yeah, yeah, Exhibit A is only like.
I have all B, Exhibit Bs.
B, C, D, B, C,
There we
D.
go. So,
Yeah, I mean, so the.
Okay.
maturity of one.
yeah.
I mean, Exhibit A really breaks down. Can we run out and make a copy of Exhibit A?
Yeah, I thought I printed right in the order that they were.
That's okay, I mean, if it's there, then I don't.
Yeah.
I
The
didn't.
data's there, it just needs to be counted.
Yeah,
You'd like it in the pie chart.
yeah,
Yeah, it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
We'll probably
Okay.
same- yeah, we'll probably
Well,
have
we
to-
have a pie chart that you can see what's liquid. I mean, it doesn't,
But stating, referencing the pie chart and
Which
stating
ones-
specifically
yeah.
liquidity, yeah.
well, but you've got less than 1 year. I mean, that's
For the-
virtually,
For the layperson, I think is what he's
Yeah.
saying.
yeah, okay. It's a good comment. I think it can also be put on the front of the report where people don't always want to read these little Excel schedules.
17 million. I think, what was the minimum liquidity required? Was it 14 or 12? I can't remember. 12.
12 to 13. I mean, what's this year's budget, Ron? I think it's 20.
Yeah.
What's this 24, 25? What's the fiscal year budget for this year? I thought it was 26,
It is 26.
so 13.
Okay.
She said 21. Was that just a general number that, or is 26
I think she said
includes
we started
project?
We started with 22.
I think she, yeah, I think she misspoke, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so whatever we.
May not be
and
fresh
all the
in
stuff that we-
her mind, yeah.
Okay.
I think she probably doesn't want to face the fact that it's going up every year, which I understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a council member call me today and thank me for, he said, "You gave me $1.3 million. I didn't even know we had an income," because it wasn't on the financial statements. You're welcome. But I hope, I hope that the economy continues to thrive and that opportunities to earn good yields without sacrifice.
You want to reference A, there's your Schedule A.
Yeah, oh, thanks, yeah. Everybody received it last night when I sent it out.
Yeah,
It just
I have it
didn't get
electronically, it's
copied.
just
Yeah.
not printed.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks.
All right. Okay, so I think, to conclude on future agenda items, I think I don't think we need to have a meeting of 4 brokers. I do think it might be good to have the brokers come here or do it by Zoom, whichever makes sense. The 2 brokers we have now, one lives in Orange County, but he has no problem coming up here.
Okay.
And the other one is in San Francisco, but she has all of California, and she doesn't mind coming down here again. We just time it so that she's, got a couple of clients to visit or things to do, but I think that would be a good thing to do,
Is
Martin.
it problematic if you were just having a Zoom with them and you, like a webinar, and you invite them and they're just talking to you? Is that problematic to the Brown Act if it's not an official committee meeting?
It can be done, you mean if it's with us, it has to be,
Not with us, I'm saying if you just hold one and it's open and you let us know that it's happening, it's an open Zoom webinar, and anyone who wants to zoom in can zoom in, no one's going
yeah,
to.
no, well,
And
you
no one
could
can-
do it on Zoom, you could do it for all of us on Zoom, but you'd still have to post it as a
Yeah.
meeting, and anybody who wants to dial
If
in.
it's a committee meeting, yes.
Exactly, you could do it that way, we wouldn't have to all assemble in person. And if that's preferable for them or easier to not do it in person, I mean, it's nice to meet them in person, but I'll leave that to my successor. I don't think we're going to get it done by November unless, everybody would like to do it, and then we could. We don't have a definite,
As long as it's not Thanksgiving week.
no, it's got to be on or before November. It's the Wednesday, let's see, we could tell you exactly.
And what are we trying to extract from this meeting? Exactly.
Just-
I mean, are we doing like a beauty contest or something?
Not really, because I think we've decided that it's going to be Piper and Stiefel.
So we'd only
It's
invite
just-
those two, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
okay.
so it's really just for you all to get to know them, and also I think it would be, nice for Martin to get to know them. That's why I don't think it has to happen in November, but,
You do like Steve and Market or something.
okay, so the Wednesday is the November 13th, so it's 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. All right, and then the other items, I think the cash flow, what I think I'm going to do, Brian, is call John Nendick and ask him to take that under advisement, because there's just no city staff who can,
I'm gonna see him tomorrow anyway, so I'll.
okay, that would be great.
Yeah.
You golfing?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
So what are we asking for? Cash flow with Fidelity? What's,
A cash flow forecast.
yeah, and we have zero now, or does it?
We have
Get
zero.
one with no Fidelity or low Fidelity?
We don't get a cash flow
Okay.
forecast.
Yeah, it's zero fidelity.
Okay.
We get zip, not a nothing.
She just has to carry excess liquidity, but you can shave it if you knew what you were doing.
She's done so well so
Yeah.
far.
Right?
Well, but, again, when interest rates go up, to Ankur's earlier point, when interest rates go, the yield curve fully uninverts, and there are attractive yields in the 4 and 5 year brackets, and you want to move stuff up there,
Yeah.
you can't do it if you got a hole in your sewer
Right.
that you don't know, you haven't planned for, but, the public works folks are talking about it, but you don't know yet.
Yeah.
It just, one of the, and I've done this with, every company. We do a 13-week cash flow.
Right, yeah.
You do an annual one, and then
Some
you
basics.
update it.
We've been talking about it since I've been on the committee, so
Yeah.
it's hard.
If it's, you think, if it's hard in a big, complicated public company that does manufacturing and all other kinds of things,
Yeah.
you can do it there.
Yeah.
I mean, this city is,
It's like Quicken for a business.
we talked about that. And I know Michael Kemps doesn't like me to say that, but Ron and I talked about, you could easily run the city on QuickBooks,
Right?
easily.
Right? You just automate it.
I mean, we don't do anything, it's not like we issue utility bills, and we don't,
Right.
anybody ever in the private sector ever done cost center accounting?
Yep.
Did you ever have a subsidiary?
Oh, yeah.
Well, so you have a few funds you have to account for.
Exactly.
It's not a problem. I ran a $150 million international organization on QuickBooks because I came in at we were not about to change systems.
Yeah.
And we did it.
Yeah.
And it was, just using those kinds of tools. So,
Certainly.
okay.
I'm sure somebody has done this level of effort on a cash flow projection, but do we not see the same expenditures happen at the same time year over year? Like, how hard is this to model?
Right.
Well, it isn't.
Should be a pattern.
It isn't. But what you do need to do is you need to gather information
Yeah.
from the different departments, like, Public Works and the police department, the people who spend money
Yeah.
in non-stable ways. You've
Yes.
got to get a real handle on your capital
Yeah.
and timing.
Yeah.
And even in a perfect world, you have issues, things don't come in on budget, they don't come in on time, and
Right.
so that's why you do a 13-week rolling forecast.
No, because I mean, the level of liquidity we're talking about is actually relatively small. It's, I mean, it's a big portion of the budget, but it's also not that much
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So realistically,
Yeah, if you-
if something bad happens, you could
QuickBooks.
go through all of it.
Yeah.
Our budget is up almost 4 million from the prior year, it sounds like.
No, no, no,
Well,
no.
they, 22 to 26.
I think.
No, last year it was about 25.
Yeah, I think Victoria's at 24, and I think she was.
Oh, okay, so it's only a,
Yeah,
okay, it's like,
yeah.
Problem is, it's relatively flat.
Yeah.
Well,
Costs are going up higher.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. I mean, we had this issue with weed abatement, I think I mentioned that in the report, where all of a sudden we have 2 year, we go 100 years without rain. Then all of a sudden for 2 years, we get, 6 months of rain.
Land's moving, trees are growing, bushes are
Everybody's-
sprouting. We have a new law that says you have to clear brush clearance.
And
Imagine what our PV is
Right.
going through.
Right? They spent our entire city budget just dewatering that place out there.
well, we also have oceanfront here.
Yeah,
Now, we've had some
yeah, issues.
pieces fall in.
That's what she
It's just a matter of time.
Perfect, I know. Anyway, okay, so next agenda will be the quarterly report for September, and maybe a broker meeting via
November?
Zoom or whatever. And I don't know if there's anything else anybody would like to dig into and suggest is, we are sending Colin on a mission to the
Brian.
Brian.
To me, but then. You just have a train.
I'm sorry. Well,
Join if you like.
I'll give you a little mask to wear,
Strategy is when in doubt,
Irish
just
thing.
call somebody Brian.
right? Yeah.
Pick some Irish name.
Yeah.
Well,
Colin, Tim, Brian, or James.
Right?
is there a Liam here?
Right?
Ankur should be happy that we have Jim now, because this used to be the Irish Mafia.
Yeah.
We had to have one smart guy, so we appointed Ankur.
Oh, yeah. That's, you're
like-
diversity.
And they make the Irish look smart.
At 6:30, right.
Perfect.
we just got kicked out.
There we go.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at,
Aye.
what time is it? At 4:26. Thank you all,
Thank you, Kate.
and we'll see you in November, and we will be in touch. And again, Brian, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Kate. I'll see you around.
All your